How was the lunch? Good. Feeling sleepy or not? So I have already told my speakers, our speakers, not my, ensure that कि आपको लोगों को जगाना भी है थोड़ा, तो शुरुआत के लिए थोड़ा रेडी रहो एक्सरसाइज के लिए. I don't know what they are going to do that, but definitely they will do something which will enlighten your eyes in a different way. Okay, so now we are going to talk about new workshop, which is the subject line is developing line of sight to optimize value of digital transformation. जब इतनी बड़ी लाइन पढ़ी तो मैंने दीप्ति को बोला मुझे भी समझना है what you are going to talk about. By the way, before taking it forward, we are going to have two speakers this time. Deepti Paradkar. Deepti is a transformation lead. She is well experienced in enterprise agile coaching, organization transformation, DevOps, business analysis, and product management, and so many other things as well. I cannot include. बड़ी history है. Nilesh is one of the volunteer as well in APGI. Nilesh is a lean agile DevOps coach with extensive experience in agile training, enterprise coaching, and leading portfolios as well. And especially as far as the APGI is concerned, he is our, you can say, project manager, delivery manager, program manager, whatever. ये usually हमें task assign करते हैं, हमें follow करना पड़ता है. He has trained and coached 1,000 plus people on Scrum, Kanban, and scaling framework, and enterprise and business agility. So welcome to all of you, and welcome to both of you as well. Thanks a lot. All yours.
Thank you, Sudhanshu. I don't assign tasks to people, okay? But I try to motivate people so that they will be able to experience something, and which is what we are going to do here today as well. And the goal of post-lunch session is, the first goal is to keep all of you awake, right? So at least that's the one goal that we have. But yeah, we have a bigger goal. And we are going to talk about this goal thing for the next 90 minutes. So we'll come to that. But yeah, I think the point that Sudhanshu highlighted is a very important thing when you're talking about this subject. What does it actually even mean? Building line of sight to optimize value of digital transformation. It's not only about the English interpretation, but even a lot of organizations are struggling with that as well. So why not understanding what do you mean? What do you make out of this sentence? Anyone would like to share something? What this might be? Any guess?
Something to do with the roadmap.
Something to do with the roadmap, okay.
No more guesses?
Sorry, can you come again?
Optimization in the digital transformation journey.
Optimization in digital transformation journey, okay. Anything else?
Visualizing
Okay.
for the digital transformation.
Digital transformation,
So
visualization.
roadmap is something we plan,
Okay.
and visualization is something we build that capability to see how we can optimize it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So before we get into the actual content, which is going to be a workshop, by the way, this is not the session. So which will mean that we'll roll up our sleeves and get your hands dirty in a digital world. Okay. That's why you see some post-its and pins, some flip charts on your table. But before we get into that, want to make one definition, common understanding, shared understanding between all of us. What's the difference between agile transformation and digital transformation?
So, agile transformation is you adopting to agile ways of working, whereas digital transformation does not necessarily mean it's more about emerging or adopting to newer technologies or the technologies that can help you in building a transformation roadmap around.
Okay, so digital transformation can be around adopting new technologies. Any other?
Is it fair to say digital transformation is the goal? Agile transformation is a way to reach that goal?
It's a good way to look at it. Okay, digital transformation maybe goal. Should we question that also? Is digital transformation the goal? But maybe we'll leave that for some other day. But good perspective to look at. Maybe, yeah.
For agile is for processes and digital transformation for technology.
Okay, agile is for process, digital is for technology. Okay, we are talking about agile in terms of continuous delivery, CI/CD and DevOps. So there is a tech as well. But when we say digital transformation, there are a lot of other aspects come in. So, for example, sales implementing ERP system is one of the initiative in digital transformations, right? So there could be multiple broad things, and agile transformation can be a subset. So for now, let's go with this definition for the next 90 minutes. So we are not only talking about agile transformation. Whenever we are going to do any activities, please try to think from holistic perspective. But even if you go with agile transformation as examples, there is no harm in it, because sometimes our examples come from the experiences that we have. So that's the context that in which you are working, perfectly fine. If you are in another context which falls under digital transformation, feel free to use that as well. So no worries. Okay, but now let's talk about the problems. There are many companies who have shared their success stories over last few years in terms of, I just picked up example. Either there's a successful implementation of a framework, there's a case study out there, there's a presentation in some of the conference, or there is a white paper published. It happened for last some, say before pandemic times. Many of them, and with the same set of those companies, what is happening now?
Can anyone resonate with it? No. Good.
That's
for
good,
us.
right?
Yeah.
That's good. But the companies which had so much of a success, if it was so successful implementation, then what changed? Then why all of a sudden overnight we are saying that these initiatives are no longer useful, we don't need these type of people? Last 2-3 years we have been saying that whenever there is a cost optimization question arises, there are certain roles which are overnight declared as nice to have, and those become the first ones to be let go, right? Sometimes it's not only about the roles, sometimes the initiatives are put on hold because they are suddenly becoming nice to have initiatives which can wait. It could be adoption of a new platform, it could be a investment in some new market, it could be about some initiatives inside the company. But one fine day, those decisions are made that let's put these on hold. And then there are perspectives from both the sides, right? Where the people who get impacted feel like, no, we were doing the most valuable work. And if you look at, for example, Agile community, saying coaching is the most valuable thing you can ever have, or Scrum Master is the most important role you should have in the team, when at least you are building the high performing teams. So there are opinions. Then there are other initiatives which are put on hold. So why is this happening? What do you think is the problem?
Changing underlying cost.
Economy is driving this, okay.
Maybe the initiatives or rules were not, either they were in abundance or they did not have a correct mapping to the business outcome.
Okay, so we had roles, but it did not have correct mapping to the business outcomes. That's what you're saying.
Change in vision or market fit. Probably of the
Change in
problem.
vision or market fit. Yeah, so market around us is changing. Okay, that's a good perspective. Anything else? Any examples you see which are like very close to you? Something you have seen in last couple of years? Byju's, okay. Yeah, their journey, how it has gone. Actually, all the edutech industry has gone through the cycle, right? Other examples, have you seen certain companies going through the similar activity multiple times in last 10 years? Like at least I have been working with some of the clients where their agile transformation journey is going since 2010. So initiative started, something did not work out, new leader came, another framework started, things did not work. 2010, 2012, 2015, every time new leader comes, new framework comes, new initiatives come. It's going in the cycle. So it is iterative, but it is not incremental.
But Nilesh, didn't we say that agile is iterative process?
How many of you think that this is how agile should be? Is this how agile is? Just keep adopting to changes. Can agile be only iterative without increment? No. So everybody is expecting that we are moving one step forward. Is that a fair assumption? Yeah. Okay. So I mean that's how we would like to think. We would like to see. But what actually happens? Like I mentioned about this, things going in, like companies going through multiple transformations, experimenting multiple frameworks, changing leaders, changing different type of tools maybe. Like sometimes you are using Salesforce, then you decide, okay, no, let's try SAP. Sometimes you decide, okay, let's try some another solution. Let's build an in-house solution. All these experiments are going, right? Now, this is what is happening. So why does it happen like this? What is the state of digital transformation in today's world? It's something that we should introspect. So Deepti has an interesting way of explaining this. So Deepti, would you like to show us how it is happening right now?
Sure. Can we play the video, please? So yeah, I mean, this is a viral video. Currently, everyone has this in their WhatsApp or another social media platform. So just give us a second. Yeah. Are you all familiar with this? R&D is all the organizations running towards or in a race, right? Can we dissemble that all are these organizations now? One of the organizations is already there midway. The next one has already started the journey and following the other one. So you see, right, the organization has progressed. They are just there. All the customers are cheering for them, welcoming them. Have you all seen this? So think about it, like what, how is it related to our topic? Can any one of you, by looking at it, just tell us like how is it related even to the topic, or is it just that it's viral and we are playing it here?
First of all, do people know where they are going towards? Like this baby, the first baby is going to somebody else. Like it's not their mom and dad, somebody else.
So this is exactly what Nilesh was talking about just a minute back, right? There are organizations who have several initiatives. They are at certain point and then they go back, invest on another initiative. Right, so you see, right, like they are going back and reinvesting on some other initiative. See? Whereas, do you see the last organization there? Okay, what is different in that organization than the first two? Can anyone Okay,
Yes,
okay.
there is a
Great.
goal, right?
Yeah, great. Anyone also has any point? Exactly, that's exactly what our point is. They had goal, right? They had goals, and that's exactly what we also wanted to say all this while. Line of sight, right? So if you have a goal, and we have heard it since morning a lot of times, right? Like OKRs, um, what is the goal that we want to achieve, and that's exactly we are also trying to say that have a goal and have a line of sight towards that, and how can it be done is what we will be learning together now.
Okay, so let's talk about it in the IT context. And this is where we can probably start brainstorming. We'll give some examples, but request to all of you to take one context in, if you are not from the same company sitting on the table, or for the people sitting on the chairs, we can still do the exercise. We can put a chart on the wall, so, or you can join the tables. But let's take a context of some company. You can decide which one of you would like to share that context. But in your company, what's your CEO's challenge? What's your CHRO, like people teams, HR organization challenge? What's a CFO challenge? A challenge or goal, you can put it in any perspective. What do they want to see as an end of digital transformation outcome? Like, what is their perspective? So one example could be that if you are a retail industry like Amazon or Tata Click or Snapdeal or Target, right? The CEO's goal might be to increase revenue by 1.5 times in a particular product line. Let's say increase in the sales for say electronics. That could be a CEO. So the goal of digital transformation for the CEO is to see increase. The CFO's goal could be increase in margin or reducing the operational cost to achieve that goal. So that's the CFO's perspective. Whereas CHRO's perspective might be that I want to retain my talent. This digital transformation journey should help me in retaining my talent base. So one of the way to measure that is attrition, right? So that could be a measure. So take any context and look at this from different dimensions. It could be a banking, it could be a retail industry, it could be a government, public sector or health sector. Pick one context and try to work as a team. So 5 minutes.
So all of you have your sheets.
Yeah, the way to do it,
You can
please.
do it as a group activity, and just want to add, right?
Yeah.
Lights.
Can we
okay.
turn on the lights?
Lights.
Huh?
That's right.
Just use one side of the paper, whichever. Put these roles and the challenges or the goals of digital transformation.
So we will be having more activities, so use accordingly, like yeah.
Biggest challenge is digital transformation cannot be completed.
Yeah, there is no end.
There is
Yeah,
no end.
no end. It's a journey.
So where to call it as stop, that itself is a challenge.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
that is applicable for all the roles. So be a CIO challenge.
Yeah. It could be a long journey. And the
It will be
long journey. But at the interim, like, what's your next goal to reach? Interim, yeah. I think about it like next 6 months, 1 year. What would be the goal?
So I mean, while you are doing this activity, just want to add, like we also heard in the morning, right, about it, that it is very important for all of us to understand what are are stakeholders looking at? And that's exactly what we are trying to do. We are trying to understand the challenges from our stakeholders' point of view as well.
Yes. No, that no limit to it. You can for each of the role at least write one. If you get more time, write more than that. From any context, yeah, you can write down, like you don't have to think too much. You can start putting it, you don't have to worry.
It can be other than
And do share that.
What are the other roles other than this? CIO, chief
Please make best use of.
Scopes we have last minute. Are we good? Any help needed because we have just 1 minute left for this
Two more wickets.
Okay, time check.
All right, so we can take small pause here. We can continue because this is a story that we'll be building. So you can continue adding thought. But just to take inspiration from each other, can we go one example per table and just share what is it that you have come up with? Just one thing that you want to share. One challenge. Okay, can everybody have attention here? So this table has come up with CEO challenge is how to increase shareholder value. Table 2.
I think for CEO we come up with the challenge is that how to keep adding better business value and improve collaboration among the teams.
Better business value and collaboration amongst the team. That's the challenge
From the CEO.
you have come up with. Okay. Some other role on table 3. If you pick any other role, what's the example?
Okay. For CFO,
So this group has a lot of ideas.
And we need to maximize reach in different areas, new areas and new cultures.
Sorry, can you come again?
So, as the CEO of Netflix, I want to increase my reach into different new areas and new cultures.
Okay, reach of the products in new areas and new culture. Awesome.
I also want to increase the time spent by each subscriber every day.
Time spent by each subscriber every day. That's the goal. Again, in the context of Netflix.
Correct, yes.
Okay. How about this? Any example you can share?
I'll allow him to speak on CHR side. So the challenge is getting the right skill set and then competency. If we are going to enable some digital technology, and then retention of the existing talent. So that are the key things we.
Awesome. So good digital talent acquisition and retention. That's about CHRO perspective. Thank you. This table I have a special request because all of us started with the roles that we listed. They come up with a customer perspective also. Oh, that's a different way to look at it, right? What will be customers' challenge in terms of digital transformation? Any example you want to put?
I mean, we thought even the customer should be onboarded when we talk about the digital transformation. So just few thoughts is, one of things is how we can have more adaptability or willingness to the change and how we can perceive, because the end product is going in the customer's hands. So we thought that willingness of the change could be one of the
okay, willingness of so basically ease of adoption from
yeah.
customer point of view,
yeah.
and how we can streamline
correct.
adoption. Okay, wonderful. How about this group? Any example you would like to quote?
Who's the volunteer?
Has been trying to push the mic here and there.
No, actually, we have gathered a lot of thoughts which we have to consolidate, but I'll go through mines. If from CTO standpoint, I feel skill set, timeline, budget, that's the challenge. But yeah, it is.
Okay.
This was a healthcare example. So we were thinking leveraging the AI ML kind of capabilities to understand the customer changing trends as a CTO.
Okay.
And also cut down on the wait time in healthcare industry. A lot of wait time.
Okay.
How can I leverage the AI ML?
Okay. Using usage of technologies to reduce the wait time. That's the goal or the challenge.
Does it require any technology stack which you need to align to any new licensing which you would require for that from the CTO point of view?
Yeah. Probably a much more broader example could be how would that technology sustainability look like? Say, if you're building something which is having a shelf life of 30 years, which technology should I adopt now? Like that's how like CTOs might like to think. So that this product is maintained and evolved and has a shelf life as much as possible. Right?
But that was the old pattern, I believe, because nowadays everyone wants to jump into digital. Everyone wants to jump into AI, but they don't know what to do with it.
What to do with this?
So it's futuristic as well as shelf life.
Yeah. But it is also a symptom of that babies thing. Like babies can run in any direction, but what is the goal?
Right.
The AI, ML, Chat GPT, whatever you take, Azure, we can do all of that. But what is the goal? What is the problem we are trying to solve? If that is not clear, then there is an old saying also. If you don't know where you are going, then you will get there anyways. Because any direction is a good direction, right? So, but good examples. I think
it's a good starting point for our next slide as well, I think.
Yes, yes.
Thanks for setting that up.
Just one disclaimer, because we are switching light on, I think we are having better interactions, but it might reduce the visibility of slides. But don't worry, we are having conversations, so we can explain everything, don't need to focus on slides. The additional layer we would like to add to this activity now is all of you can think about the root causes. So we talked about the symptom right now. Like a patient comes and says, I'm having fever. So I want a solution. But why is that fever coming? What is the root cause? Is something that comes only after you do tests, or doctors will ask some questions based on that example, or you will find that root cause. So let's take an example of this group came up with saying hiring the right talent is a CHRO's perspective, and it's a goal or a challenge in digital transformation. Why is it happening? What is the problem? So if you ask the why question to some of the points that you have come up with right now, that will give us the next level of details on what is stopping us or what are the root causes. And pick maybe only 3 things from the list. If you have come up with a lot of points right now, just pick top 3, and for each of those 3 items, find out what are the root causes. Like why is that problem happening? Or you said like wait time in healthcare, right? So why is that wait time high right now? So that is an example you can. Okay, is that clear? Is it easy to do? Yes? Okay, so next 5 minutes, come up with the root causes for three top problems.
So you already
For example, first one, as a CTO, सबसे बड़ा जो चैलेंज होता है टेक्नोलॉजीज को हमेशा अपडेटेड रखना है बिकॉज एवरी टाइम नया नया रिलीज आते हैं इसलिए बिकॉज वही है डिजिटल में हाँ जो भी कंपनी बिकॉज वही है सेम चीज चारों का तो
For example, like what are trying to
बहुत आगे चले पहले हमने क्या किया चैलेंज so let's go to the cause of the challenge and actually क्या होता है अगर आपने चैलेंज के साथ से then you might land up in that situation where so think of this as from the challenge perspective and then only will be able to think of other things, right? So pick only two for which you have that challenge.
That is solution. Because थोड़ी इसकी वजह से है
Some of those could be a root cause. There could also be a root cause that people are not only because money, but there could be employee experience or there could be culture issue. So that is also possible. So
but then that is not related to technology only. Okay, in the changing technology scenario, digital transformation, what we are looking for, okay, this issue may not be a big deal because there are not many people who will move for cultural issue. Okay, कोई दिल्ली वाले को अगर चेन्नई में डालेगा तो वो कल्चरल इशू की वजह से ही विल शिफ्ट आउट बट देन दैट इज अ कंटिन्यूअस इशू टेक्नोलॉजी के रिलेटेड इफ वी आर हैपनिंग टू लुक एट और एनी चेन्नई वाला गोज टू दिल्ली और नोएडा then he won't get that. Yeah. So that may happen.
Suppose in the city of Pune, one company is giving an opportunity to work on different fields. And the next building you have a company which is giving opportunity to work on say Golang or .NET. Right? The same person will try to shift, but not because of the money, but because of the
aspirations.
Aspirations. Right? So that's a technical issue actually.
Yeah, this is I accept. That is the changing. Okay, that is the retaining the skill. So in that case, I'm going to lose my mainframe skill. And even if I give him extra money, he will say, "Boss, technology and again, I don't want to stay here." So I'm going to lose, and nobody can help this scenario.
Yeah, but as a business, if I am owning that business, it eventually means my business will die someday.
Someday.
So what should I do as a digital transformation? I
Change.
should move my system from
Mainframe
to the new age technology. So this is how all of this is connected.
Exactly same thing I've done for. Have you heard about MEFG Bank?
All right. So can we again take next pause? Can we take next pause? And now let's do anti-clockwise. Some of the root causes that you have come up with. Just give one or two examples. That's fine. Can we have attention? One table at a time, please. Yeah. So.
So we have identified two challenges. One is regarding the infrastructure investment, issue of non-scalability. So if everything was on-prem and we cannot anticipate what would be the size required for the research or our customers, that is scalability. And another is thinking about what kind of skills will be required.
Okay.
So especially if the CTO or executive teams are not collaborating with HR function, then there could be gaps in onboarding the skills. And once we have the scale, then do we have the availability?
Okay. So infrastructure, skills, availability, these are the areas. Okay. Oh. Lack of collaboration. Thank you. How about this team?
Yes, for the customer stakeholder, the challenge was adaptation and willingness of the new digitally transformed product. The root cause is digital literacy, specifically because the transformation is done across the product, and certain sections and certain status of age are not used to it. Let us say you are targeting the product is being used by elders. They are not used to the transformed product.
Okay.
So that is one. Few more are there. Too many frameworks for the CTO. Too many frameworks and too many things to be provided.
Too many technology choices and frameworks. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you. Can we go to that group? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So for CHRO we have two challenges current. So which are first is getting right skills and competency. So for that the root cause is are the demand causing the retention rates as well. So we need to keep our resources up to date, and we need to retain our resources as well first.
Okay.
And the second is the retention, the required skills. So as we discussed, as you were here, so that the root cause was the matching the industry standards. So we need to keep the changing the technology as well for the application. We need to check the what we are doing currently and what is the our application stands in the market or not. So one day it will end up with the old technology. So we need to keep changing and we need to keep update.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. So I think we will not just go through all the tables, but if any of you want to add any interesting perspective,
Okay, we will go for the CTO. So first of all, our challenge is not enough in viewership in remote area. So we are taking the Netflix examples. So we have identified two root causes. So first root causes is the connectivity in the remote area, and the next is the infrastructure issues that what we feel, and the another root cause is the regional content language are missing. So that we have identified.
Okay, wonderful. If time permits, we'll come to this in the next section. But I think we have enough examples of what we are seeing as a pattern is we have problems, and we know that what is the root cause for that problem. Now, if you frame this problem and the root causes into a goal and a measure of success language, how will that look like? For example, network reach. So the goal of the digital transformation is to improve the network reach. So should you run a like in India, we are running a transformation program to reach the fiber optics network at last mile connectivity to the each of every village. So that's one initiative. So the goal is improve the network. Or for digital talent and technology. So if you want to retain the talent, the current root cause is talent is leaving. So first of all, somebody has to do the analysis of why the talent is leaving. What are the top 3 root causes? Based on that, we will come up with some top 3 solutions or like corrective actions to be done. Say maybe pay parity. Second is employee experience. For example, if somebody is working on a mainframe, we were discussing in that small group, and people don't want to work on mainframe. They want to work on new age technologies. So that will be one of the cause of attrition, or you are not getting the right talent. So as a company, what you would like to do is, one of your initiative in the digital transformation roadmap will be move your systems from mainframe to some latest technology, right? So that will be one of the goal. Now what we are trying to do through all of this exercise is building a line of sight, like why are we doing something and what initiative we should take, right? So this is how we should approach the problem, which is top down, like what is people the leadership is expecting, what is the organization is expecting, why that goal is not achievable right now, what are the bottlenecks, and to solve those bottlenecks, what initiatives we need to take. So these are the lenses at which we are looking at. But to bring a more structure to that, what we can look at is there are goals which can be broken down at multiple levels. So what we started with the CXO perspective is a business goal, right? So business goal example, increase revenue share or acquire a new market, new culture. That's a business goal. What is the technology goal to achieve that business goal? Increase bandwidth is a technology goal, right? And then there will be transformation goals, like some group came up with collaboration as a problem, I think this group, right? So if you want to increase collaboration, then how to implement new ways of working initiative, let's say agile, or there might be some other model, okay? But the transformation goal could be to adopt new ways of working. So there are 3 types of goal and they might be interconnected with each other, right? But unless we know what is the business goal, what's the technology goal, and what is the transformation goal, then we will be working without a line of sight. Then any direction we go, it does not give us any benefit, and that is why the situations like the case study that we saw earlier, right? That happens because if you are not able to prove the business value of the work we are doing, then the organization will, this is one of the lowest important initiative that we are doing. So why not stop it? I can use this fund for something else. But how about thinking from every day? So all of us in the room have a role. We are running some initiative, right? Somebody might be doing agile coaching, somebody might be doing DevOps, somebody might be doing some innovation lab, right? Agree? All of us are running some initiative. How many of us have a clear line of sight on the work that we are doing? Is how is it connected all the way up to CEO's vision? Do you have that mapped out clearly? Not like ambiguously. Do you have that clear vision, clear line of sight? So that's a challenge, right? So What we will talk now or experience now is a methodological way to do that. So maybe Deepti, you can explain.
Yeah. So what you can see here is day to day, right? Like there are key practices that the team works on, right? And how are those then yielding to the final business value, customer value, right? So in the left hand side, what you see is there are different key practices from the developer point of view, from the tester point of view, or any individual that they work, and eventually they are leading to certain metrics, right? They are leading to certain improvement on a day-to-day basis, and those what we have tried to put here is the DORA, just a standard DORA metrics, but it can be any. What we are trying to show here is how is the line of sight built here, right? So we have key practices, then we have key metrics, which are then eventually impacting our business and customer value. And that's the line of sight that we are talking about. So this is in terms of the IT or software world. Similarly, you can have it from the different world that you come from.
So just because it's a post-lunch session, a question for you. If I am doing Chaos Monkey, where is it fitting here? Resiliency, okay. Which gives me which metrics? Change failure rate or MTTR? MTTR, okay. Which if I improve MTTR, what will happen? Yeah, but is there anything in between? Is there anything in between? If MTTR is good, then service stability, yeah, uptime, whatever. Then cost of maintenance will go down. Your system's uptime will be higher, so stability will be higher, which means your experience is better, and that's why your CSAT is better. So you see the connections. I'm doing a practice of Chaos Monkey, which is going to help me to build resiliency, which is going to help me to improve my mean time to recover, which is going to help me to have a better uptime, better system stability, which is going to help me to build better customer experience, which is going to help me to have better customer satisfaction, right? There's an end-to-end thing. So if I'm doing something else, let's pick up something totally different. If I'm doing pair programming, but my problem is system stability, how do I build that connection? There may be a connection, there may not be a connection, I don't know. But maybe that will solve the problem that this group raised, that we are losing talent and acquiring new talent is a problem. So pair programming might help in building a knowledge management system in the team where there is no person dependency, that one key person leaves, the rest of the team suffers. Maybe that problem will get addressed. So we need to have that cause and effect kind of a relationship, and everything we are trying to do, how is it solving the biggest problem? Because in our field we can do hundreds and thousands of initiatives, right? There is no limit. Prashant will come and say, I want to do Chaos Monkey. This group will say, I want to do something on innovation, let's say. That group will say, no, let's do some capability development program. How will I prioritize if I am the leader? You need to have that clear line of sight, right? So one of the way to think about this is a structured method of what's your business goal and what are your technology and transformation goals, and for each of the goal at every level, how do you have your measures of success defined or metrics? So we are not talking about subjectivity. So for example, this group can say that our current failure infrastructure problem is costing say 10% downtime, or that group saying that our retention ratio right now is we have 15% attrition and we want to reduce it to 10%. So there is a measure of success, there is a number attached to it, there is a quantifiable way in which you can approach. For this group, the Netflix kind of example could be that you want to increase 20 new countries over next 1 year. That's the CEO's goal. 20 new countries in a non-English speaking, you have a list, let's say, some countries, the non-English speaking background, and that's how you want to take those initiatives. So one of the goal could be on your, how do you focus on different language content. One of the goal could be how do you run initiatives which translate the programs into local languages. So that business goal has a metric attached to it. Then a technology and transformation goal also has a metrics attached to it, and then they are further divided into initiatives. Like we talked, maybe you want to implement SAP. Why do you want to implement SAP? Let's say measure of success is improving the win ratio of the sales, whatever sales you are doing. Using SAP, you want to increase the efficiency of sales by 10%. Or if you are doing cloud migration, what is the measure of success you want to achieve? By doing cloud migration, I want to reduce my infra cost by 15%. So there is a MOS attached to it. Now what we want to do is exactly think like this in any examples that you have come up with, and see if we are able to come up with some. So it's not necessary that we are able to fill all the boxes, but is this concept something that is resonating with you before we do it hands on?
So this is similar to what we generally do in our day-to-day, right? Call it lean value tree, call it like OKRs linked, call it epics, features, stories, right? Like the initiatives, mainly what we are trying to do here is creating that line of sight, aligning it with the goals that we have in the organization and at different levels. And what are the measures of success that we have at different levels. Some call it measures of success, some can call it OKRs, depends on what you want to refer to it. Yeah. So can we move to the exercise again? Back to the activity. Can we do that?
Any questions? It has little silence here. Any questions? Is this clear? Yes? We want to try this? Yeah, go ahead. No, you pick any example from your own table
So you
right now.
already did, right? You did the activity. You know what were the challenges you were trying to achieve, right? And then you also you came up with some solutions as well. So that is the goal that you want to achieve. And now where does that fit in? What was the goal, right? Does it fit into the transformation goal, technology goal, or was it a business goal that you chose?
Okay, so we have next 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, what we are looking forward to is if you are able to take one business goal, break it into technology goal or a transformation goal, then break it into initiatives, and at each of the 3 levels, minimum 3 levels, it could be 4 or 5 levels also, up to you, like your creativity, you can go with whatever you feel, but at least 3 levels: business, then technology or transformation goal, and the initiatives that you can run in the company. And at every level, define what is a metrics or measure of a success. Metrics. Clear? Okay. Should we start? You can flip the paper and do this in this format. You can do it in any format you want, but yeah. You can use the other side of the paper. You can put whatever is relevant for you. ना देखा तो भी ठीक है, उसके नीचे इनिशिएटिव गोल बॉक्स में लिखो, उसके सामने मेजर ऑफ सक्सेस भी लिखो. अगर हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि रेवेन्यू बढ़ना है, हाउ टू इंक्रीज द रेवेन्यू? तो इनके हेड में होगा 20% से बढ़ना चाहिए, आपके हेड में होगा 5% से बढ़ना चाहिए। नंबर मेट्रिक एंड ये भी हो सकता है कि आप रेवेन्यू ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन प्रॉफिट बढ़ना है कहीं
We've seen it now without knowledge.
How will you measure it? How
दूसरा कलर ये है बिजनेस गोल डालोगे then will be technology goal, transformation goal, whatever the
आवाज है
ये पूछा वो भी गया सब रिकॉर्ड म्यूट कर कट वो बेचारे खुद म्यूट में मना कर रहे हैं यूट्यूब में देखने जाना है
All right, can we take a pause, please?
Wow,
So-
looks like everyone is awake now.
Yeah, as session has progressed, I think our level of activities have increased, which is so nice to see, and we are so involved. So now it is more difficult for us to get your attention back here, which is a good problem to solve, I guess. But in the interest of time, so I have request to all of you, if you are looking at me, raise your hand. If you are looking at me, raise your hand. If you are looking at me, raise your hand. If you are able to hear me, raise your hand. You know this technique works very well in kindergarten, and so as here. Right? Okay. Thank you so much for giving attention. So let's try to understand what is the something that we have learned from this cascading and approach of building the line of sight by taking one or two examples. We don't have time to go through all of them, but any table would like to volunteer and show example end to end, top to bottom. This table, okay? Let's go for it.
Wait, we'll give you a mic.
Okay, please everyone, please have attention here.
Okay, we have taken the example of healthcare industry. So we're saying the business goal will be to reduce the delay in services by 20%. And so the first part of it was the technology goal, which was saying, which says that build the scalability for the platform to be able to do that. And the measure will be saying from 1x to 10. So 1x is 1, and you want to finally achieve the 10x. So one of the initiatives under that is application modernization. So the measure is maybe 60% of those applications we need to move from, maybe they are all monoliths and you want to move to
Monolith to
microservices.
microservices.
In line with that, you also want to have some of them migrated to cloud. So maybe 30% out of those applications also you would want to move as a first step. That was on the technology side. Then the transformation goals, to be able to achieve that business goal, there has to be leaner collaborative structures we have set. So the cycle time for decision making to be reduced by 50% is what we've said. With this is not directly related, but we are saying that you need to have the upskilling is one of the things which you will require if you want to achieve your technology goals. So you need to have platforms and better collaboration to be able to have, let's say, people who will be able to work on those technologies. And at the same time, you will also require to upskill. These are platforms which you need to have, and you need to have a collaboration where you can do that. And also, you will need initiatives where you will actually end up upskilling maybe 10% of the employees on the new skills eventually, because you will build over a period of time. You can't do it overnight.
Okay, wonderful. I think the best part is every line has a number. So the 30% cloud migration or 60% of the apps need to be migrated, and which also how it is going to result into 10x business goal and so on. Any other example you want to share?
Just one I will like to add here. So we also created that line of sight that I can see. So I know that as an employee, I have to upskill just to achieve that business goal. So that's the line of sight that
You need to switch on. It takes some time.
All your initiatives, I think, just by having an idea doesn't help. You need to somehow get your way around to some business goal. Otherwise, I don't think anybody is going to buy your initiatives. I think that's the learning you have.
So, if I take some example of now, if this planning is done right, how do you actually know whether you are doing is going to help? So, planning is enough.
Creating a visible dashboard.
Visible dashboards, which is dashboards help in what? Transparency.
What will you do with the transparency?
What will you do with the transparency? What will you do with monitoring? Decision making, right? So you want to make decisions. For that, you want to have information along with you. So when you are driving a car, you are constantly looking at your dashboard at how much is your fuel level, how much is your speed, right? But only transparency is not useful. You have to apply accelerator or brake also. Otherwise, what will you do with that information? And at regular interval, right? So, which is broadly we are talking about governance. So, planning is important, but governance is even more important than. So, can we switch off lights if possible? So, something that we should develop as a next step, not in this workshop, but a food for thought for all of you. Once you have all these plans defined, right? Let's say how will you meet at initiative level? Probably you can meet and cover all of these things in your sprint demo itself, maybe or once in a month. But some of the things at a business level might not move and every 15 days, but you might do the governance. Let's say increase in the sales of say Amazon Echo Dot, or increase reduction in the attrition rate is something you can measure at a quarterly level. So, how will you do governance? Who all will be invited? What data will you look at? Based on that data, what decision you will make? This will help you to put a governance framework. So, what will we do with this then? Make decisions, as we said. Like governance is not equal to status reporting. No PPT in the world can solve that problem. So, if you are to optimize the value of digital transformation, then we need people in the room who make decisions. So, if let us say you have you are able to move 30% of the applications on cloud, but if it did not meet the business goal, what will you do?
We should have a mechanism to know that along that line, not wait until 30% first of all. If we come to know that it's not helping, maybe create a new experiment.
Pivot. Right? Don't be emotionally attached to the initiatives. Always focus on the business goal. So, let's say your initiative was to adopt some framework and you invested in say X amount of money in training people. But after 1 year, if you realize that it has not increased your time to market or it has not increased your revenue, then just because you have involved spent some money, that's a sunk cost theory, right? So, we should never be emotionally attached to the cost already spent, but if it is not contributing to the business goal, always change it and don't wait so much. So, if you are doing a governance only once in a year, that is too late. So, in today's world, we need to have more faster feedback. So, we are talking about CI/CD only at that story level or at a Git commit level, but the same theory applies even for the business. That faster feedback helps you to figure out which initiatives you should continue, which initiatives you should stop. Even the practices that we talked about, should I do chaos monkey, should I focus on pair programming? I mean, this is a question because a lot of us are from agile coaching background, right, or scrum master background. Sometimes we have a bottom up approach. Like many times talking to people, I realize that my next focus is improving stand up or do retrospectives. I want to use this new sailboat retrospective. What I would suggest you all Monday morning onwards is how is sailboat retrospective is going to help me to the top goal. If you are able to think it through that way, if your default nature becomes to develop a line of sight, it will help you to make decisions. Is this more important or something else is more important for me? Otherwise, the bottom up approach does not help and you will be busy, but outcome may or may not come. So, we don't want to become busy, right? We want to be outcome oriented. And this approach will help businesses, but it will also help you as an individual on every single thing that you do on a daily basis. How is it helping the larger picture, the larger goal, and is it ambiguous or is there a number attached to it? So, measure of success helps you, and there is a black and white answer, not a subjective answer. So, that's the key message that we wanted to give.
Yeah, so everything that you see here is data driven, right? So, be informed and have your informed decision is what we are talking about. And with this, maybe we'll move to the next slide. And yeah, so what was that we learned, right? So yeah, I mean, anyone wants to add anything on top of it? Or do you think we missed any of these? So what we started with was, right, we started with identifying what challenges we are trying to solve, right? So what were the root cause? So in a way we were trying to see the goals. Then what we saw here was that how do my business technology transformation goal link, right, the measure of success activity that we did. After that what we did was we tried to have measure of success for all those levels. So whatever we are doing at the different levels, how is it connecting back to the business goal? What is the measure of success for each, and having governance around that, right? Like, so build your transformation roadmap based on the measure of success. So we said that, you know, we have measure of success, but we should have a mechanism to look those back, check there. Are we achieving those? If not, should we pivot? Should we add a new initiative there? So that's what we were talking about. And finally, be flexible on transformation initiative and pivot based on the measure of success. So yeah. Any point that anyone wants to add here? Sure.
Sometimes, when we are trying to identify the root causes and the symptoms and separate, it may not be quite evident what is the root cause, and so if you go with systems thinking, multiple things can cause one thing, and one thing can cause many effects. So applying systems thinking approach when we are doing this might be very helpful in a complex organization.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we will just go with the group thinking and attack a wrong problem.
Yeah, and for every problem we'll have one paracetamol.
Yeah, exactly. Dolo 650.
Dolo 650 becomes a solution there.
Right.
Okay, any other insight from anyone now? Anyone? Yes, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
So my question is, while we are trying to define our goals and measure of success, are there any mechanisms to validate, whether what we have defined, does it really aligning with the goal? Are there any validation techniques that one can employ?
Yeah, so the whole purpose of defining the goals and not stopping at that only, the reason we talked about governance and faster feedback is until you actually try it, it's all hypothesis. So sitting in a room, we can always have a lot of hypotheses that if I do this, this will happen, this will happen, and so on. I don't know, all of you understand Hindi, right? मैं लाखों मुर्गियाँ पालूंगा, वो हजारों अंडे देगी, उसके this can happen, right? So it's all hypothesis. You have to run some experiments, right? So experiments will help us to understand whether what we are doing is giving me an incremental benefit. Maybe your goal is to improve 30% something, but in 1 month if you are able to get 5% result, then you know that you are going in the right direction. If it has not given you any benefit, then you know that this is not the right thing to do, I should do something else. So fast experimentation attitude, measurements, data driven approach, these are the best ways to prove your hypothesis, right or wrong, either ways, doesn't matter. Does that help?
One question, when you said line of vision, is it from the business side or is it from the initiative side that you're looking for this?
Should be from both ways, right?
Yeah, it's a two-way thing.
It's a two-way thing, yeah. Because every day, as every human being wants to know what value you are adding to your organization, to the society, to yourself. And if you do not have line of sight, if your only goal is go at 9 o'clock in the office and come out at 6 o'clock, then anything you do is, doesn't matter, right? Like where it is going. But if you know that there is a line of sight, that I am not writing 20 lines of code, I am helping organization to increase the revenue 1% in this new market, or I am rolling out a new my OTT platform in a new country by next month. I know that I am contributing to a larger purpose. I am not just going and doing some tactical work, which is an inspiration, right? That's where you wake up in the morning and say, yes, that's the mission I have and I want to go and do. Like, have you seen any player who says, I want to play 30 balls in an IPL match? or I want to bowl 3 overs. That's not the goal. The goal is to win the match. Maybe the larger goal is to win the trophy. And that's what inspires people to go on the field and give their best, right? So thanks for building that. Two-way, it's all two-way. Line of sight is important both ways.
Feedback is very important.
All right, I don't know if you have more time, but we can continue the discussion in the breaks. Yeah, we'll hand it over to Sudhanshu. Yeah.
My clock has started. By the way, thanks a lot for Nilesh and Deepti for such a wonderful session, or I would say workshop. Let's have a big round of applause for them. And now, I need help from Venkat as well as Vishal. Could you please come down to the stage? That's fine. We will take it. Come. I am getting an opportunity to call new persons. Every time I am calling Aditya. So, Venkat, sir, you need to felicitate Nilesh. Tulsi, if you are here, could you please come on stage as Vishal is trying to take photos. Yeah. So thank you, Deepti, thank you. So again, humble request, we have a very good workshop today, and go to slido.com. There is a code available 1820624. Provide your, I know that I don't need to say further because it's a repetition, but still it's my job to do that. And very soon, the tea break and networking is about to start, and after half an hour, or I would say approximate, by 4 p.m. we are going to start our panel discussion very soon. So please be available. Thank you.